Most people begin their journey to wealth with the thought, I need to save. They cut out coffee, spend less on food, reduce entertainment. But after a month, 2, even a year, there's no visible result. Why? Because saving by itself is not a strategy. It's just a temporary measure that gives the illusion of control but doesn't create wealth. There is a golden rule that many discover too late. The first $100,000 is a special threshold in building wealth. Before it, money doesn't work for you, and after it, it begins to bring real returns. That's why saving a little here and there is pointless if your goal is serious. The real priority is not just cutting expenses, but creating a system that gets you to that milestone faster. Why exactly $100,000? It's not a magical number, but a mathematical threshold. Until then, growing your capital feels painfully slow. Let's say you have $10,000 and you earn 10%. That's only $1,000 a year. Nice, but not life-changing. But with $100,000, that same 10% becomes $10,000. That's a full month's or even a year's salary in many countries. And it arrives without your active effort. This is where the biggest trap lies. People think, if I keep saving, one day I'll be rich. But cutting small expenses will never make you wealthy. It helps control spending, but it doesn't accelerate growth. Real change begins only once your capital reaches a level where compounding is noticeable. Which means the main task is not just to live frugally, but to reach $100,000 as quickly as possible. Many give up before reaching this point. They spend years cutting costs, living without joy, but all they see on the horizon is slow accumulation. At some point, they think, why am I torturing myself if nothing changes? This is why 9 out of 10 people quit. They get stuck in the saving for saving's sake phase and don't realize that the real game begins only after hitting $100,000. The $100,000 rule changes perception. It says, stop trying to reach wealth through saving alone. Saving is necessary, but it's not the engine. The engine is income and allocation. Saving is the brake. It stops money from leaking. But a car won't move if you only press the brake. The real strategy is to combine 3 elements. Increase your flow of income, protect it from leaks, and direct it into growth. Saving plays a role in just one of the 3, defense. Without the other 2, you're doomed to stagnate. Picture a bucket of water. Saving is patching the holes so water doesn't escape. That's important, but if no one is pouring water in, the bucket stays empty. And if you don't direct the water somewhere useful, it stagnates or evaporates. That's why people get stuck. They fix leaks but never open the faucet or build a channel. The first step is realizing that the $100,000 rule is not about suffering for pennies. It's about a strategy to accelerate your way to the next level. If you understand that reaching $100,000 is slow and difficult, that's fine. But that's exactly why you need to be smart. Earn more, protect what you earn, and direct it into growth vehicles. In Part 1 we've examined the MA. To reach $100,000, it's not enough to simply live frugally. You need a strategy that combines 3 key elements: growing your income, protecting against leaks, and directing your capital. Let's break each of these down to see how the $100,000 rule really works. Growing income is the main accelerator. You can cut out coffee for years, but one $500 raise will have a bigger impact than skipping lattes for a lifetime. The key question is, how can you increase the flow of money pouring into your financial bucket? The answer is through skills, new opportunities, and the courage to ask for more. Many people are afraid to ask for a raise or switch jobs, thinking they don't deserve it. But the truth is, the market doesn't pay for modesty, it pays for value. If you can create results worth more to the company than your salary, you must demand your share. Every extra $100 a month speeds up your journey to $100,000. The second way to increase the flow is parallel income streams. Freelancing, consulting, side hustles, online courses, reselling products. These are often underestimated, but they provide the boost that separates those who reach $100,000 quickly from those who stagnate for decades. The third way is investing in your own skills. Learning programming, copywriting, design, project management. These can multiply your income many times over. And every increase in income is not just money today, it's a stronger flow of capital tomorrow and the day after. Now about protecting the flow. What's the point of earning more if money still slips through holes? Subscriptions you don't use, high-interest loans, impulse purchases. All of these eat away at your capital faster than you can build it. Defense is about saying no and setting up control. There are simple tools for this: expense tracking apps, automatic transfers to savings, card spending limits. Boring, yes, but they make the difference between someone who always lives paycheck to paycheck and someone steadily moving toward $100,000. It's important to realize, protecting the flow doesn't mean killing joy in life. It means cutting out meaningless spending that doesn't add real happiness. An impulse purchase makes you happy for an hour. Saving $10,000 and letting it grow gives you peace of mind for years. Finally, directing the flow. The money you earn and save must work. If it just sits in a regular account earning 0.01% interest, your hard work is being devalued. You need to use tools that grow capital: index funds, ETFs, high-yield savings accounts, bonds. The secret here is that even small amounts, if invested properly and regularly, turn into capital. You can invest $200 a month, and in a few years, it will be tens of thousands. The key is automation. That way you're never tempted to spend it. The $100,000 rule isn't a magic button, but an algorithm. It says, increase the flow, protect it, and direct it. Do this consistently, and $100,000 stops being a dream and becomes a reachable milestone. But there's another crucial piece: psychology. Money isn't just numbers, it's emotions. On the road to $100,000, there will be boredom. It will feel like nothing changes. And it's in these moments that most people quit. To stay the course, you need the right mindset. The psychology of money is the part people rarely talk about, but it's exactly what decides whether you reach $100,000. Many think the problem is math, low income, high spending, but the real root is in your mindset. If you believe wealth isn't for me, your brain will find evidence. If you think saving is pointless, you'll find a way to spend it all. Keeping the right focus is what separates those who make it from those who don't. The road to $100,000 is not a sprint, but a marathon of endurance. It feels boring because there are no instant wins. You put $200, $500 away each month and see no result for 6 months, a year, 2. Here it's crucial to learn to enjoy the process. Count not only the money, but also the victories of discipline. I didn't quit, I made the transfer, I stuck to the plan. A major trap is comparison. You see someone buying a car, going on vacation, showing off a glamorous life on Instagram. Meanwhile, you're living modestly and saving. But the truth is, most of these people aren't wealthy. They're just spending. Real wealth is quiet. It doesn't always show in possessions. It shows in freedom and peace of mind. To survive the boring part of the journey, you need habits. Automatic transfers to savings, scheduled investments, weekly expense reviews. These remove the need to fight yourself every day. Systems beat willpower because they never get tired. The key rule: don't rely on motivation. Motivation flares up and fades. Today you're inspired by a video about wealth. Tomorrow you're tired and think, it's fine, I'll skip this transfer. Systems, however, always work. Set them up once, and they'll take you to $100,000 even on the days you have no energy. And then comes the moment you reach $100,000. For most people, it's the first time they see 6 figures in their account. It's not just a financial milestone, but a psychological one. You feel that now you control money, not the other way around. You realize capital isn't an accident, but the result of your choices. At this stage, the game changes. Now your money begins to bring tangible income. You see annual returns equal to a month's salary. You see your wealth growing even while you rest. This is the moment people truly experience compound interest, not as theory, but as reality. But the most important truth is that $100,000 is not the finish line. It's the launch pad, like a rocket finally lifting off the ground. Yes, it took a lot of fuel to get there, but now the trajectory becomes easier. Everything above $100,000 grows faster and with less struggle than the climb to reach it. To use this milestone properly, you need to shift your mindset. Before $100,000, you were the worker, carrying your wealth uphill. After $100,000, you become the system builder, managing and scaling your wealth. The sooner you accept that role, the faster your money multiplies. The final lesson of the $100,000 rule is simple. Stop saving wrong. Saving for the sake of saving is a trap that drains energy and leads nowhere. The real path is a system. Earn more, protect what you earn, direct it into growth, and don't rely on motivation. Discipline, habits, and automation, that's the formula. If you endure the journey and reach $100,000, you open the door to an entirely new world. A world where money works for you, where your decisions build the future instead of just covering the present. And the most valuable thing is this: the feeling that your life finally belongs to you.